Hey guys, so I created this chord progression. I'm going to play it for you with a piano roll, very simple, and then we will create something out of these chords. Chords are going to be the very base of the melody. So all the rest, the arpeggios, the bass lines, the melodies, everything we're going to somehow come up from these chords. This is an E minor chord. Okay, so what we're going to do with this now is actually we will try to somehow create from it something interesting. And first of all, what I would do, I guess, I would try to create a bass line pattern here. And how do I do this is I will basically just duplicate this, and I will go to my plugins, Arturia, and I will choose my mini V4. I'm going to extend this MIDI, and obviously we will need to go low because we are very high octaves. We'll see where. And yeah, just write some notes. This is too much. Okay. This sounds already a little bit better, but I would go a little bit higher anyway. So I adjusted a little bit this volume as well, and I played around with the cutoff frequency just so I can hear what will happen in my track once I will use this in the track itself. So what I like to do again is to use a drum bus, because it does adds depth to my bass line. And now let's just try to use this melodic pattern here and add some kind of a synth to it. So I will go to my Arturia pack again, and I will try this I don't know, Prophet, for example. Yeah. And now remember, I'm just experimenting here. Okay, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just experimenting. I'm going to go to my leads, and I'm just play around. This is actually crazy, but we need to spice it up. So we're gonna go to my audio effects. I'm gonna add drum bus, delay, reverb. I'm going to set up the delay like this, and I'm gonna add a bit of more drive on the drum bus. Let's say 34, a little bit more reverb, and let's just listen to it. Okay, I think I like it. We need to add an EQ because we need to cut out the lows again. Okay, let's just listen to it in the context of the track. Well, I don't know. I'm not really sure actually. I think I'm gonna go back to the synth and I'm gonna search for some other sounds. Okay, now my suggestion is now let's add a polyrhythm pattern here. I just duplicated it. I'm going to remove the delay and all these, and I'm also going to replace this profit with something else. Now I know that that modular can work great with polyrhythms, and now I will go to my let's say bass sound. But what we need to do first is we need to create the polyrhythm sound. Okay, so this is already quite good sound, I guess. So the polyrhythm. Oh. This is how we do the polyrhythms, right? It's just copy paste. You go ahead and you just add the sounds. Now I'm gonna move higher, 1 octave, and I'm gonna look for another bass sound. Oh, okay. To go a little bit. There is a little bit of note shift. I don't really like it. Although the sound is okay. Okay, now this is cool, but it's not that interesting. And so that again, we need to go to use some delays. So again, drum bus, delay, even reverb, shorter decaying time, go back with dry wet a little bit. And of course we need to go with EQ and take out all the subs and all the lows, because and now we can add even the utility and add width. Now once you add width, the sound starts to spread to the stereo field a little bit more, and that's again a very good practice to techno music, because it adds depth to the music. Now, I know a lot of people will say that using delay, reverbs, etc. right on the channel is not a good practice, that it's better to use them on the return channels. I think in a certain ways they're right, but I like to do somehow to use it this way. And I will just show you in a second why. But for this, I think we can use it right on the track. now again, another good practice is, for example, if you want to add even more depth to the sound, a very simple way to use this is to just duplicate this melody pattern here and just search for another preset. Let's try to look to in the keys. And let's just use both. Listen to it. Now we have basically two sounds, and just listen to it when you take out one. It's not that interesting. But when you add the second one, now suddenly there is a shift, that the whole track has more depth, more things, more on the frequency spectrum, more frequency is basically taken. The sound is more full, I would say. And what now we can do is we can basically group tracks, and we will add a filter on these. So we are going to be able to modulate. I'm gonna just show you what I mean. Now I'm playing. I'm gonna call this ARP group, and now there is a filter on this ARP group. And we will be able to cut back with it. And now what we can do is, now we can utilize a return track. So we go into our return tracks and we set up our filters as we like, or effects as we like. And we can start to use them. Now I will combine more effects here, but I actually kind of know what I will want to use. That's why I do this without even listening, because I know that roughly what I'm gonna use here. So now I have this return track, but it's not used anywhere now. But I can add this return track here. So now I'm playing only the return track. And what we can do now here is we can modulate these two things. Like I will do a modulation of this return track volume. Basically I'm going to go like this and like this, and at the same time, so I'm gonna display this so you can see, and at the same time I'm going to modulate the frequency. Yeah, at the same time this is going to happen. Now I'm doing these curves by holding the option button on Mac. I'm not sure which one is going to be the equivalent on Windows, but you're holding this option button, and then you just move your mouse away when you have this little icon there, and that's how you can create this very nice shape. And you basically open up the filter, and you create this very subtle movement on the end. And now listen to it in the context of the track. Now, one last thing I would add, and that is at least on the bass line. You can use it elsewhere as well, but at least on the bass line, you want to add a compressor and you want to sidechain it. You're gonna sidechain it to the kick. So you enable sidechain, and then you need to pick which channel you want to sidechain it to. So in my case, I'm picking the kick one, and I'm just gonna mute the rest, and I want you to listen to what this does. It creates this pumping effect. Now, of course, I'm exaggerating it. You want to make it very subtle. It lets the kick to have the space to kick in, to punch, while the bass goes a little bit down, but just for a very, very brief period of time. But it creates this ducking, and you can easily use this setup also for, let's say, for your melodies. And if you add the compressor before the reverb, then basically you're gonna create this ducking, but the reverb is gonna kick in after the compressor, which means that there is gonna be the sound playing even when the sidechain is happening. But since here the frequency is cut off, it doesn't do any crash, right? Because the low frequencies are cut off, so there is no clash between the kick and the like between the kick and the bass line. I don't know if you noticed, but there's already much more space in the mix. Like there is no clash between the kick and the bass. Now, one last thing is we didn't use any EQ on the bass, which I tend to do. I tend to everything under 30 hertz. I put it away because it's just something that you don't use, you don't hear it, so it's nonsense to have it there. So that's it, guys. This can be a very nice bass for a techno melodic track. Have fun, enjoy with it.